Welcome to this session, Managing Business Complexity to Achieve Business Sustainability. We will be looking at some practical principles to embody in your operation. See, there is nobody in business that does not go through business complexities. Nobody. Everybody goes through business complexities, from the biggest companies to the smallest companies to startups. Everybody go through business complexities. I have a question for you. Is your business becoming more complicated in the last few years? Does anybody here think that their business is more complicated this year than it was last year? If you believe that, leave me a comment in the chat box. Do you think your business has become more complicated this year than it was in the last year? Do you think so? Yes, actually. The truth is, as your business grows, as the economy grows, as many things happen, your business gets more complicated. That's a fact that everybody goes through, especially now in 2022, where the whole global economy is coming out of the COVID-19 crisis. We have not fully come out yet, but we're coming out of from a major global crisis, and almost every business entered more complications. And then you can tailor it to particular countries, maybe crisis, political crisis, civil crisis, and funny kind of things happening. It only contributes in getting your business to a position where it can become more complicated. But of course, as business people, it doesn't mean that you should run away from the business, right? Your job is to manage the complexities. With changes in customers' expectations, changes in government regulations, business politics, business cycles, and technology, COVID-19, all of these things, with all of these changes, you will experience business complexities. And knowing how to manage complexity in your business becomes imperative. Yes, with all of these changes, as customers' needs begin to change, as government regulations change in your sector, as politics and business politics itself begin to change, as business cycles begin to change, technology is growing, global crises are looming here and there. You need to be in a position where you can manage business complexity. It becomes a core skill. Coping with complexity, with the complexity of today's business environment, is about two things. Pay attention to these two things. If you can be able to pay attention and make good use of these two things, you will be able to cope with business complexity. Number one, predicting the future or reducing/managing the risk. Yes. And number two, building capacity. Do you want to know how to manage business complexity? Then number one, you need to know how to predict the future, or if possible, reduce and manage risk. For example, one of us here runs a travel agency. When COVID-19 was announced on CNN, immediately you saw COVID-19, what came to your mind? Let me tell you, many people had no idea what came to their mind. Immediately. But for someone like me who likes to predict the future, when I look at circumstances, I anticipate the future. When I saw it, I was like, hey, I think my travels are going to reduce. I think my events are going to cancel. I think like in the first day I saw on CNN, the COVID-19 outbreak in China, and World Health Organization started talking about the possibility of it scaling across more countries. Now, I started predicting what may or may not happen. This is the foundation of being able to cope with complexities. Many people, complexities successfully bury some businesses and some executives because they don't think beyond next week. They don't think beyond today even. You have no idea. So complexities now successfully hinder you or destroy you. Or if you don't know how to reduce or manage risk, okay, COVID-19 came, you're in transport, you run a restaurant, you run a couple of things. Now, how are you going to manage it? Maybe if you run a restaurant and then they say, okay, people are no longer coming together. Okay, are you going to buy gloves? Are you going to buy face masks and some clothing in a way that you can still cook in your house and deliver door to door? Are you going to buy a motorcycle? You start thinking of how are you going to keep the business running by managing the risk? You see, let's say you run a travel agency, for example. Okay, airplanes have been shut down, airports shut down, people are not moving, tourism is affected, international business travel is shut down. Okay, what do you do in that case? Maybe you can now re-strategize and start collecting contacts of people and just collecting emails. You start doing strategies and collecting more contacts and keeping, so that you are planning so that when international travel opens up, you have maybe 20,000 emails or 30,000 phone numbers. And when it opens, you can send mass SMS or mass emails and inform them that, hey, travels have opened up and we are giving discount flight tickets to the following countries. You see, you find a way. That's how you can cope with complexities. Either you are good at predicting the future, or you develop ways that you can reduce the risk of your business dying out, or you can manage the risk. There are many businesses I know that they collapsed because they lacked this point number one. They totally went into almost zero operations, zero money making, zero value creation. They were totally lost for months, and why not even 2 years? And when you are at that stage, to bounce back becomes a challenge. The second point, and to cope with business complexity, is about building the capacity in yourself, your people. Your people means your team, and the organization to adapt continuously and learn speedily. Yes, you cannot win the battle against business complexity without building capacity. Like, for example, COVID-19 brought business complexity. Many businesses were forced to go and start working remote. Meanwhile, they were not used to doing that. Okay, how do you manage that complexity? Good. Create a training for your staff on virtual team collaboration. Train them on how to use all various virtual working and collaborative platforms that they can use with their staff and continue to serve customers. Build capacity. You can carry out a training on innovation and brainstorming. Okay, our major business has been affected. Good. What should we do? What ideas do you have as team members? How can we improve our business model? How can we innovate our business model to actually suit the present dispensation? That is what happened to most businesses. You see, any business that stood the test of time in the midst of COVID-19, they were able to leverage on the capacity of their staff or the team as a whole to innovate and improve on the business model to actually stay in business. For example, us in particular, we created trainings on virtual team collaboration. Majority of our business trainings, we put them on hold, and we converted all our trainings were related to digital platforms and surviving COVID-19 and all of that. You see, even this particular PowerPoint presentation, it was designed originally in 2020 for me to teach executives how they can manage business complexities. You see, so we adapted, and this was from the place of capacity. If we do not have the capacity to create around this area, we will not be able to actually solve the problem. And that is why consistently building capacity remains a very important element for you. Not just general capacity, but learn how to build strategic capacity, tailor-made capacity, situational capacity, problem-solving capacity. You see, like companies coming to us in the midst of COVID-19, they were looking for strategic capacity building that relates to the challenge they are facing. We are forced to work online. We don't know how to work online. Can you help us? Simple. They needed specific capacity. We don't know, our customers have stopped coming to us. We don't know what to do to continually serve them and make money. How can you help us? Capacity in that direction. Capacity in that particular direction. If you're able to master these two key points, there is no complexity that will suffer you in future. Because they will keep on coming. But the good news is you will know how to manage them. Some silent fights that entrepreneurs and business people go through. Now, this is I want to walk us through some practical examples of complexities and give some ideas on how you can look at them. But these are silent fights. These are complexities that every entrepreneur or every business person will go through. I like to call these the conflict of demands. The conflict of demand. The conflict of demand is very important for you to understand this, because this is the foundation that many people still go through as far as complexities are concerned in business. Number one example of complexity or the conflicts of demand. You run a business, investors are demanding higher profit while the society or the law expects you to give back through corporate social responsibility. You know, there's a law almost in every country that as a business, as a registered company where you work, you need to give back to your community, right? You need to give back a percentage of your profit to a community. It's almost every country has that law. So, but why the society or why the government expects you to give back to the society? You are investors. For those who have investors, even you as the founder, you are demanding higher profits. You see, you are demanding higher profits. This is a complexity. Customers are demanding lower prices while the government is demanding more taxes. Is there anybody who has gone through any of these two complexities? Leave me a message in the chat box. Anybody here? You have gone through any of these complexities, and maybe you didn't know that was a complexity. You didn't know that it was challenging you. Anybody? Have you gone through? Which one have you gone through? One or two, or all the two? Yes, two. Customers demanding, oh, please reduce your price, reduce the price. But government like, no, pay more taxes, pay more taxes, pay more taxes, right? You are between two complexities. Now, how do you manage this? Investors demanding higher profit, higher dividend. But the society expects you to sponsor orphans to school. Society expects you to help widows. Society expects you to help refugees and all of that. Yes, this is good. But you need to fulfill all of these too. These are two important complexities that you need to solve. So your job is to always predict these things. Do not be taken by surprise. You already know that you have to pay a higher profit or dividends to your investors. You already know that you have to give back to the society through CSR. So what do you do? Maybe if you are conscious of this, okay, so you know what, let us make more sales. Let us push, let us sell more, let us enter more markets, let us sell in more towns in this country so that we can be able to make more money. Customers are demanding lower prices, government demanding more taxes. Okay, what should we do? Okay, you know what? Let us make sure that our production cost is cheaper. It's not very expensive. Let us find a way to do that. Is there a value chain that is costing us more money instead of helping us to save more money? Which value chain, which cost is the highest cost? How can we manage that cost? You start asking yourself these questions. Government is demanding more taxes. Maybe you should study the tax law itself and see the loopholes where you can take advantage of it and not pay a lot of taxes. Or you want to pay more taxes, okay, see, you want to respect the government. Okay, what can you do as far as your business is concerned so you can make more profits? So even when you pay tax, you still have a lot of money in your bank account. But these are complexities, these are conflicts that all are important, and you have to pay attention to them. So everybody will go through one or two, and they will keep on coming and going. And that is why being able to predict or manage the risk, or being able to build capacity in order to do that. For example, in terms of customers demanding lower prices, maybe having people in your team who have the capacity of engineering more sales so that you sell more, so they can make more money. Taxes become so heavy when you are doing little. When you pay taxes, nothing really remains in your hands. You see? But somebody like Dangote, for example, he pays taxes in Nigeria almost 8 billion naira or so. One time I saw something like that. But to him, it means really nothing because he's making the money. But imagine if you are making small money and you're paying millions, hundreds of millions in taxes, you are going to feel the pain of doing that. Number three, staff demand increase in salaries while government is increasing taxes. Right? Yes, this will be a conflict. It is a serious conflict. Now there is inflation. Government needs more money. Staff, they need more money and all of that. You're in between these two crazy conflicts. Government needs more money. Staff needs better salaries. Okay, how do I manage this complexity? How do I manage this complexity? Again, being able to predict or being able to manage and being able to build capacity becomes important. For example, in this case, like for example, in our team, I wanted when just like 1 week or 3 days or so before inflation was officially announced in Cameroon, I had a meeting with the people and said, inflation is coming. We need to have a plan and all of this, right? So predicting helped us a little bit to do that. That's one thing. Now, another thing that I intensified from my end was one best way to manage inflation is to know how to make money for more than one country or for more than one continent. That's one way to do that. So if inflation right in Cameroon or in Africa, and you're able to make money from Dubai or the Middle East or from America, because sometimes it is really hard for the economic downturns to affect all regions at the same time. You see, so you predict and then you have a plan in place to manage it, or then you build capacity to do that. You understand? Number four, your wife and children need your attention and your business is demanding more attention. Right? Or husband. I don't know why I skip husband since the man designing the content, you see, bias information, right? Your wife, husband, or children need your attention and your business is demanding more attention. Is there a married person going through this conflict indicating the child box person? Some of us cannot say because we can assume that it happens, but people who are in that ministry can tell us more. That because one thing I already know for myself, that there will be a serious conflict because I can sit in my office and I forget it at 10 p.m. and we are supposed to go home, right? So it becomes conflict. You see? Yeah, you see, somebody says, I often go through that. Yeah, your wife or your husband needs your attention, keeps attention, but come on, business is demanding like 18 hours, 15 hours of your life every day, even on Sundays. They are supposed to keep the whole thing and just go be there. You are there. You're there. But you need to find a way to do this. Maybe you need to build capacity and find a way to automate certain things. Oh, yes. One thing I'm trying to do personally is that we can automate a lot of things around us, like our sales system, our cash collection system. We can automate so that it's going to give, staff can focus on certain key things, and it will give us a lot of time to focus on those important things. And why not just time at home also? And we're going to get there. That's capacity. It can help you to manage this complexity. So you need to start looking at your end. What are those things taking your time that you can start automating? That you can start building systems that you can automate, and especially those things that are repeat and regular, what that technology can do. Don't try to calculate with your minimal technology head. No, ask a tech expert. Is there a tech platform? Is there a tech product that can do this and do that? Or sometimes just research. That's what I do myself. I just research. Okay, is there technology out there that can do this, do this, do this? I research, I watch YouTube videos, then I know how it exists. Is it free or is it paid, and all of that. You see? So you need capacity. I need to have a plan. You need to have a plan to manage that risk, because family is important, business is important, and these two will need all of you. But you can manage the complexity. This particular complexity, you can manage it with capacity. Number 5, sales and profits are dropping while general expenses are spiking. Anybody here can confirm that? Maybe last month or last 2 months, your sales dropped, but expenses stayed the same or they grew. Your house rent stayed the same. Light bill was growing, water bill, internet bills, what else? Maybe you had to repair some office equipment or some, sales were not the best, but expenses were opening their eyes and looking at you like that, boom. If you try nonsense, you're in trouble, right? So it happens, right? So sales and profits are dropping while general expenses are spiking. What do you do in that particular case? You need to build capacity. You need to build capacity. Which kind of expenses do you need to drop if you can, or which kind of expenses can you cut into half? Which kind of expenses can you pay in installments so you can have more cash to reinvest in the business? You need to think in diverse ways. Okay, what else can you do? Maybe your marketing systems have grown so old. Maybe the way you convert leads into sales is so poor. Check, how do you market? How are you converting leads into sales? Maybe you need to upgrade. Check how you talk to customers. Check the quality of your products. Check your marketing style. Check maybe you're using a very expensive marketing system. Which one can be cheaper but yet very effective? You need to start digging deep in these diverse ways, because it's your job. It's your job. This complexity will not go away. You just need to predict and manage and build capacity and win at it. You cannot pray for it to disappear. You cannot pray for it to disappear. You get a point? You just have to manage it. Sales, you cannot sit and wish for it to disappear. Sales dropping, profits dropping, expenses remaining the same, or worst of all, they are increasing. Maybe one of your laptop is bad, or your phone is bad, or an office equipment, the door office is bad. Something funny just happened. You are just spending more money. Okay, it has happened. What are you going to do about it? That's a complexity that you need to manage with all of these ideas shared with you. Okay, so practical principles to embody in your operations as you manage complexities, right? We have seen examples of complexities. Now let's look at some practical principles to embody in your complexities. Number 1, knowledge strategy. We've been talking about this already. Knowledge strategy. Knowledge strategy. When you are drawing up the strategy, you need to do 3 things. Every company must have a knowledge strategy. You are listening to this session right now. After this, one thing that you need to develop for yourself and for your business is knowledge strategy. We have seen that one of the 2 ways, out of the 2 ways, building capacity is a core way that you can cope with complexities. And the best way to build capacity in your business is to do what? To have a knowledge strategy. Develop a knowledge strategy for your business. And there are 3 key things that makes up knowledge strategy. Number 1, consider how effective your business currently is at using knowledge. How effective are you in using knowledge? Right now, you're going through this course right now. How effective are you in using the knowledge that you have learned? Everybody go to the chat box and rate yourself on 100%. How effective are you in using the knowledge that you learn from reading books, you learn from courses, you learn from trainings, you learn from mentorship and all of that? How effective are you in disciplining yourself to make good use of the knowledge that you get as far as your business is concerned? Rate yourself on 100. How many percent? Let's go. I want to see in the chat box. Don't lie. If you lie, I'll catch you. 70 over 100, 60 over 100, 35 over 100, 60, 50, 60, 60. You see, there's a whole range. Now, do you now see that at some point we are responsible, we are privately, silently, innocently, or knowingly, I don't know which one works for you, but you have a role to play in where you are as far as your business is concerned, right? Yes. Like I always say something, one thing that we need to avoid in Africa especially is there are many people in Africa that, you know, they attend trainings and all of these things for the purpose of showing off. And another disease now is everybody's claiming to be a coach. And the bad news is 99% are going to fail in being a coach. Sorry to say, but that's a fact. That's why I look at many who started 2018, where are they today? 2017, where are they today? Because they're sitting with the wrong perspective and wrong structure, wrong systems, wrong competence. A lot of things are wrong. And they're just, the thing is about going on Facebook and posting pictures, claiming to be coaches and all of that. It's beyond that. It's beyond that. Many people attend many of these trainings for the wrong reasons, maybe certifications and all of that. Yeah, it's good to show that you are somebody who learns. But what are you doing with the knowledge? The worst one is this coaching and trainers, like why everyone is just excited. They now come and attend trainings to come and copy knowledge to go and retrain. I know many of them who come and attend my training and they copy the content, go and retrain people. They don't even have their own business. They have nothing. Is copy, train, copy, train, copy, train. They have no idea. They have no idea on what it means to implement. You see, they have no idea on how to implement anything, which is not good. Okay, so you need to have a good knowledge usability index. Okay, you need to have good knowledge usability index. Like one of your goals should be that after this program, make sure that you are going to use at least 90% of the knowledge that you have learned. Just always encourage people when you're going through any program, make sure you develop a knowledge decision-making index. What does that mean? What are the core things that you learned from the program? Then develop an action plan on how you are going to implement that thing. One of my mentees right now is doing something so amazing, like so amazing. She just finished the Mini-MBA program. And then in her weekly structure, in her weekly goals, she always indicates one lesson that she's implementing in her business from the Mini-MBA program. This around the 4th week she has been doing that. Immediately she finished, she has now added that in her weekly goals. One of her weekly goals is she will write the lesson from the Mini-MBA and how she will implement it in her business. And she's going to, from the way she's going, she's going to do something like for the next 9 months. How will her business not grow? She's so conscious with that. That's a good example of knowledge usability. You like go through this program now. Don't just go and you are there. What lessons are you picking? Then after this, draw an action plan. Draw an action plan of how you will be making good use of the knowledge. You need it for sustainability. You need it for you to build capacity to be able to manage business complexities. If not, many business complexities would destroy your business. And you'll be like, hey, what happened? No, what happened is that you have knowledge, but you're not using it. That's what happened to you. It's not the village people. It's not your enemies. Number two, analyze your internal processes for gathering and sharing information. Yes. How do you gather information and how do you share information within your business? If I ask many people here now, what is the profitability ratio of your business in the last 9 months, in the last 7 months? You cannot tell me. Number one, you don't have a structure of gathering an internal structure to gather and share information. If I ask you now, what is the percentage growth of your profitability in the last 3 months? That your business. What is the profitability growth? Did it grow by 10% in July? Did it grow by 10% in August? Did it grow by 10% in September? Do you know the percentage growth? Analyze your internal processes for gathering and sharing information. Are there successful ways of generating ideas? And do staff have a good grasp of what is happening? How do you communicate with the staff? How do you generate ideas? Have a process of doing that. Do you do that through staff meeting? Do you do that through anonymous filling of surveys and all of that? How do you do that? Okay, good. So you need that in your business. The C part, make sure that knowledge management, knowledge acquisition, and distribution is a continuing process. So it becomes central to your business strategy. Yes, intentionally make sure that how you manage knowledge in your business, how you acquire knowledge in your business, and how you distribute knowledge in your business is a continuous process. You need this for you to succeed as far as your knowledge strategy is concerned. Knowledge strategy is incomplete without managing the knowledge, without acquiring the knowledge, and without distributing the knowledge. Then it is incomplete. For example, many times, I think we have done like 3-4 times or so in Cosdef group in my business, where the last time what we did was that I gave a simple instruction to all the staff. I told them, pick anything that you know that you are good at doing in the workplace, develop a PowerPoint presentation and come and train the rest of the staff. For example, if your staff and you know that you are good at punctuality, you are good at coming to work on time consistently, you have good punctuality. Now, develop a PowerPoint presentation on how to be punctual at work and come and train the rest of the staff. You see, that's a part of knowledge management, acquisition, and distribution. We're using that person to acquire their experience, their knowledge. Then they will use a staff training on Mondays and distribute that knowledge to the rest of the staff. You see? So it's important for you to do that. Apart from that, how about external stuff? Like right now, part of my goals is to build a Cosdef library, staff library for the team, so that they are always reading relevant books as far as business is concerned. We have started the process. Hopefully we're going to finish as soon as possible and get more books for the library to do that. Personally, I have a program of the things I always share to staff. Every Mondays, I leave a voice note, especially when I'm not in the office. When I'm around, I'm in the office, I train staff on something new every Monday. But when I'm away, I always send a voice note of at least 5 minutes talking about something that they should learn and they should practice at work. It is part of knowledge management, knowledge acquisition, and knowledge distribution. It contributes to the staff, especially if the staff is a young staff like my team. There are many things that they don't know, many things around emotional intelligence, corporate ethics, many things that they don't know. So they need consistent, continuous education. Okay, good. So you need to do that. All right. Number two, the second point. So I hope I hope we are not lost. We are looking at practical principles to embody in your operations so that you can be able to manage business complexities. We have seen principle number one, knowledge strategy, and now we're looking at principle number two, customer insight and foresight. Yes, if you really want to manage business complexities as far as your business is concerned, you need to practice customer insight and foresight. Customer insight means that you need to be able to know exactly what your customers expect from you right now in this dispensation right now. What do your customers expect from you right now? Like this moment, today, this week, what do they expect from you right now? Then customers' foresight is, what will they expect from you in future? This future can still be next week. This future can still be next month, next year, but have customer insight and foresight. That is why employees at any level and function should monitor, understand, and act on. These three key things are important before customer insight and foresight can happen. All employees need to monitor, understand, and act on A, current customers' needs and satisfaction. This customer insight. Current customers' needs and satisfaction. You need to act, you need to monitor. What are their current customers' needs? You need to understand, after monitoring, understand their needs and what they want to do for them to be satisfied. Then you act upon it. This is called customers' insight. Then customers' foresight is you monitor, understand, and act on potential customers' needs and opportunities. What will they expect from you tomorrow? What kind of potential customers will you have in future? What kind of opportunities do they want from you? Or what kind of opportunity do they will exist in future? And again, as I said, this future doesn't mean years to come. No, it could be next week, next month, next year, next 2 years. It's your job to have the foresight in this dimension. And number three is competitor insight and foresight. Yes, you need to develop competitor insight and foresight. What does that mean? It means that employees at all levels, from the founder to the cleaner, everybody who has a role to play in the business needs to monitor, understand, and act on competitor strengths and weaknesses. You need to understand this so you know how you can take advantage of the gaps. You are not understanding this so that you can try to do things so you can fight with them at the same level. No, that's red ocean strategy, which is not good. You need to practice blue ocean strategy. Understand their competitor strengths and weaknesses so you can leave them where they are already saturated and discover a new opportunity and take advantage of it. That's why you're studying their strengths, study their weaknesses. So if you currently know your, like all of you right now in business, if you know your present competitor strength, your present competitors' weaknesses, then you know you have done what is called competitors' insight. Competitors' foresight means that you can anticipate new market entrants and potential competitors. Yes. Like you can discover new, there are new players in the industry. There are new players in the industry. You can anticipate that. Let me give you an example, like me, for example. I used to speak a lot in conferences and seminars here and there, workshops. I've spoken in over almost 1,800 outdoor events, covenants, conferences, and all of these things. In 2018, or is it 19? The way that young, funny coaches and speakers started rising here and there, and I told myself, hey, the way these people are rising, the speaking industry will become very crowded, especially conference speaking, youth events, this kind of thing. And I said, okay, you know what? I'm branching away from that. I started carving my own niche. If you notice, between 2020 and up to now, there are many, I think like last even this year, between January this year and now, I have spoken in very minimal events publicly. I think not even up to 10. From 300, I used to speak like in 250 events. Sometimes in a day, in the same town, I was speaking 3 events in the same town. But now it has reduced like this year, I've not spoken in more than 10 events. It's intentional. I anticipated a new entrance. New guys were coming in. Everybody was now becoming a speaker and a trainer. Good for them. Market must be competitive. But I had to say, okay, I'm going to carve my own niche. I started carving different programs, different structures, more carving now, even more in-house programs. You see, I have the skills to do that. Like, for example, this diploma sustainability program, I carved it myself. Very few speakers across Africa can carve a program like this. I know that. You see, so I said now, okay, you know what? I observe all the new entrants, all their strengths. Majority of the people are coming in, they can just go and read books and come and speak. I know it because when they speak, I hear them the way they talk. I said, this one, they don't read this particular book. Right? But nobody they read this book now. They read this book coming and talking. I have the experience. I have run businesses. I have considered different business. I have more real-time experience than many young guys in the field. Okay, good. So beat them at the game. So I stopped. There are many people in the environment I am busy. Not say because I'm busy that day, but I am just living. I'm leaving that market for them. I'm not fighting with you on that level now. I've dashed you the market. I am carving my own stuff. You see, I'm creating my own stuff. I'm creating my own market. And one thing about new entrants or when you're creating a new market is that create a market where it's going to make it's not a market where anybody can easily just enter. Let me tell you, anybody can get a speaking engagement in public. Anybody can get that. Anybody can speak in a local youth event. From Middle East to America to Africa. Anybody can be called up to speak anywhere at any time. These outdoor conferences. But hey, not anybody can be called to speak at the US Embassy. Not anybody can be called to speak at the Yadi program. Not anybody can be called to speak at the African Development program. You now start positioning yourself and doing those things where anybody cannot do it at any time. That's the meaning of, that's the power of competitor strength and analysis. Very important. You also anticipate new market entrants. You also anticipate new potential competitors. You also see what is driving them to enter the market. Why it's so easy to enter the market. What are they able to easily do? Then you stop doing it. Start doing the hard things and the most difficult things. It will saturate them, boof. And like, oh, you know what? This is not for me. You get a point? Yes, and you can do that. It can work for different businesses. But start with A. Look at their competitor strengths and weaknesses. Then you are not looking as so you can go fight the same customers with them. No, that's babies. That's done by small boys. That's done by small boys and small girls. You are studying them so you say, okay, they are good at this. This is why customers like them. That's why I study their strength. Know why customers like them. Oh, these are their weaknesses. Okay, how can I exploit? Balance it with my strength, with my skills, and then how can I go in a direction that they are not seeing, they have not seen that perspective, and boom, you hit it there. Or how can you launch a new product and divert their already existing customers to you without even battling with them? You subtly just collect them, the customers from their hands. They're like, hey, what happened? You're gone. You already collected the customers and you're gone. You see? Then when you have done that, do not lose your eyes on new market entrants. Do not lose your eyes on potential competitors. Pay attention to that. There's something I'm very good at. It is hard for anybody, like in the African market where I was really full, if you just penetrate out, if you just do something slightly different, that I pick you, I don't know how, but I just, hey, this guy is not normal, right? It's good to do that. You always anticipate new market entrants. Don't ignore them. Look at how they think. Look at how they act. Look at how they package. Look at how they sell. Look at how they approach distribution. Look at any important value chain that they are doing. That's how you stay in the market. And that's how you manage that particular complexity. That's why I keep to, many times I will tell people, business, you cannot guess work and win in business. Forget. You will just be an average business person. You will just be an average business person. I was reading an article today, and they were saying that not up to, out of all the businesses that they start, it's an American research, but they generalize it across the world. The research says that not up to 5% of businesses will ever cross 10 million US dollars in profit, which is true, really. How many businesses in the world are really making 10 million US dollars in annual profit? Very few. If you come like in Cameroon, for example, you'll be surprised that not up to 5 companies. 5 companies can make 10 million francs, $10 million, I mean, in monthly profits. How much is that in billions, in francs, in billions in francs? You get the concept. So, because many of these things also happen because many people are not building businesses with depth. They are building businesses with shallow knowledge, shallow strategies, and all of this. There are like many of these like customers insight and foresight, competitors insight and foresight. Majority of, many of you didn't even do this year. If I want to take a research right now, all of you here on businesses, how many of you did customer insight and foresight analysis and competitor insight and foresight analysis? If you did that this year, tell me. You see, very few, maybe one, or maybe some of you just thought about it like in your sleep. Like you went to bed, lie down, and it came to you, and I went to, there's these new guys around my shop. What are they really doing? And that's how you slept. That was the last time you thought about it, right? But it is important that from today you start thinking about it. Get a paper, get a book, begin to see. Sometimes I'll get a paper. I'll get the paper. I will go on a competitor's website and I'll be taking down notes, looking at weaknesses and strength, taking down notes. When I'm done, I say, okay, I know you now. That's good. I keep it. I keep you. I palm you very well. I'm observing you. We're observing ourselves. At the end, as I always say, let the best man with the best strategy win the market. Simple. Business is a silent word. Business is a silent word. And of course, it's a process. That's why knowledge is powerful. You are here because you have a knowledge management strategy. That's why you are here. You see? So it is very important for you to do this. Next is master discovery skills. Now, this one will shaken up people. If you want to beat business complexities, discovery skills is powerful. Discovery skills is powerful. Master discoveries. This is one of the most important skills in business that many people don't know about this particular skill. This is an advanced business skill. And if you know how to use it and translate it in your business, you will be amazed at what you will do. Mr. Boba, if you know this particular skill, you will not need to fight anybody. You kill them with your strategy alone. You just conquer them. They just you work out and see how you are doing things. See, there's a way you can do your business there. Anybody thinks of competing with you, they don't even know where to start, even how to do it. Because you're operating from a different realm of knowledge and execution. I always say something funny. If you think of competing with me, forget. You need to tie your belt very well. You need to tie a belt very. I'm the kind of person that I'll observe you and you're coming and I'm seeing you very well. Before you know it, the next morning, I just release something that, poof, like, where did this guy come from? Right? So, and you can do that. You can do that. So let's look at discovery skills. And Bobga, you'll see how you don't need to go and beat anybody physically. Eh? Just beat them with strategy and execution. Before they know it, they're like, hey, how did this guy get to where he is? Okay, what are discovery skills? What can you do with discovery skills? The ability to draw connections between seemingly desperate ideas and context. Yes, the ability to draw connections between seemingly desperate ideas and complex. That's discovery skills for you. A tendency to question assumptions and status quo. Right? Because there are many of us who have just assumed that, hey, this competitor is the best. This competitor is, you have just assumed, you have just maintained a status quo that maybe you grew up and you inherited. But no, you need to develop the habit of looking at what is contributing to a problem before rushing to a solution. You need to develop the habit of looking at what is enhancing this assumption before you rush into solution. That's discovery skills. And you can look at desperately ideas and context, and you try to find a connection within those ideas and context so you can create something different. You can question existing assumptions and status quo so you can be able to disrupt it and introduce your own massive, unique sales proposition. Many a time, many of us have very good ideas, innovative ideas, but we are not able to introduce those ideas into the market because there are some assumptions that we have about the competitor. There are some assumptions, there's a status quo that we have not questioned. So we don't have the capacity to introduce our own innovative product or service. You need to question it. You need to use your discovery skills to question the assumption, question the status quo. You will now have the ability to introduce the new stuff that you can do. And the good thing about questioning is that you will now discover maybe the standard of what you want to introduce is not up to standard. You need to go back to the drawing board, improve it before you bring it into the market. Before you bring it into the market. A habit of looking at what is contributing to a problem before rushing to a solution. Look, it's all about contributing to a problem, not the problem. For example, if a competitor is going through a problem, forget about the problem. Look at what is contributing to that competitor's problem. This is the secret of how to discover the weaknesses of certain competitors and take advantage of the market. They will not even know it. Do you know why? Because majority of business people look at the problem. They don't look at what is contributing to that problem. They see a problem, then they rush the solution and try to solve the problem as a shallow way of solving it. No, you need to go further than that. What is contributing to that problem before you, when you are now designing a solution, the solution includes the solution that can solve the root cause of the problem and of course the effects of the problem itself. What can you then do with discovery skills? The ability to network and broaden a set of relationships even without intentional purpose. Yes, you can discover and then you can network. You can broaden relationships without particular purpose, but you're trying to just put your eyes and ears here and there so you don't miss out on certain perspectives which can be for or against you tomorrow. There are many people in business that they have missed out on certain things that tomorrow they should have used for their own advantage. Some of us have missed out on relationships with people that if we maintain those relationships, We should have used it tomorrow for our advantage. There are some people you keep close because you will use someday. I am developing a training that I'm going to do with guys in my community. The training is on entrepreneurial lessons from drug cartel laws, entrepreneurial lessons from gang leaders who sell drugs like cocaine. I love watching movies of drug lords and cocaine dealers. Do you know why? Those guys are some of the smartest businessmen on earth. So I've been watching and I've been seeing some patterns, seeing some very good things about them that if we pick it and implement in our business, we will go places. And one thing about drug cartel leaders, I'm talking about drug cartel leaders that make $100 million in profit yearly, $200 million in profit yearly. Big guns, guys that their market is the whole of South America, Eastern Europe, Asia. One thing they're going to do, they are very good. They can see you now and they like you. They may not know how to make good use of you now, but they'll keep you. They'll just keep you. I may need you tomorrow. If you have watched The Blacklist by Raymond Reddington, this one thing he was very good at. He's very good at maintaining relationships. He may not need you now, but tomorrow he may need you. So one thing about discovery skills is it can enable you to discover things that you may not need them today purposefully, but you may need them tomorrow. So this can include relationships, even ideas, and certain things. To conclude, and we can take questions. As companies grow, leaders lose grasp of how all the elements are intertwined. We need to be conscious about this. As your business grows in terms of sales, in terms of profitabilities, in terms of staff, as you yourself, you get busy yourself, you can lose grasp of important elements to manage your business. So you need to set a structure that can help you manage many of these complexities. So lack of understanding and practice of these principles can lead to slow growth. When you're not able to understand these principles I've shared with you, it can affect the growth of your business. And when growth is affected, what happens? Sustainability is affected. You cannot talk about growth without sustainability. Any growth without sustainability is not really growth. And sustainability without a growing business, in terms, you cannot say that you're on a sustainable business and you have the same profits 10 years after. You have the same sales 10 years after. You have the same number of staff 10 years after. Then that is not really sustainability. Sustainability should be accompanied with growth. And you cannot be growing without guarantee that you will stay in business 10, 15 years after. Why not last 100 years? So these complexities, these core operational principles are important for you to manage and have a full grasp on all of these elements, which will enable you to actually succeed. All right, we can take questions now and we round up.